Good morning, everybody. It is a wonderful Thursday morning at 7:21 in the AM on this 12th day of April. Um, we have we do have some news coming out. We have a lot of moving markets lately. We've had some pretty, large swinging markets all week, really, and we should be looking at. We were expecting some kind of turnaround to start to happen. Um, Starting yesterday afternoonish, and some of it's kind of extended. Some of those moves have extended. Some of them are kind of coming off of those ranges now. Um, just put in a short idea. Right now at 73.72 for the New Zealand dollar. About a half hour ago, 22 minutes ago, I put out a short on the pound dollar at 42.03. We are getting in the next 8 minutes. We're getting initial jobless claims, exports. Just what else? Let me see here. Building permits, 7:30. Retail sales. No, that's on the 16th. Because what are we on? We're on the 12th? Yes, we're on the 12th. Yeah, 12th. Sorry. Let's take a peek at these markets here. Okay, the dollar is doing fantastic. I mean, it's pretty shocking, actually. I was talking with some private clients yesterday, and one of the guys said, "Oh, the dollar's going to go down further," and he said this right in the afternoon. I said, "Well, I think it's probably going to bounce around here, catch some support, maybe consolidate," but it did collapse its downward move, and it started to catch a bid pretty nicely, and it did rise up very nice. So that's good to see. Um, we can't. We'll go. Yeah, let's take a look at yesterday's trade. So, um, yesterday we had a short idea on the pound dollar. We've got a triple top here on the hourly. The pound dollar, we wanted to go short at 141.77. Now, that did work out for the day. That did work out for part of the day, but then, obviously it came down. We found support on that angle. It was bought back up. And here we are kind of ping-ponging around, and we're kind of rounding out a top here, okay? And so that trade worked out nice. If you held on to it, it's probably going to come back down. New Zealand dollar, we wanted to go short at 23.87, which we did get, which has been working just fine. We kind of got that short all the way up here as it went up there. It worked out. Sorry, 23. No, what am I looking at? 23. That's gosh. I knew that looked funny. I was kind of making it up as I went along because I sometimes forget myself. Sorry, 73.58. Now, yeah, that's right. That trade did go against us, and we really kind of were almost going to test the 74 handle, but we've been pretty much rejected at this 786 fib line, and we have this kind of longer term trend line on the hourly that we're going to come down and test, and we're probably more than likely going to break down below it. All of the dollar pairs are experiencing some delay in their sell-off. The guy leading it right now is the euro and gold. Euro has really capitulated, and I'm really upset I did not get it in a short over here. But the good thing is, guys, is that we have all sorts of opportunities in the short condition here. Sitting on the pound dollar is ripe for a huge short, and so is the New Zealand dollar. These guys are lagging. They are underperforming as far as short activity is concerned. Okay. Looking at gold. Actually, we like our Forex on this chart for gold. All right, what was that option up here? Huh. Interesting. Did not know that was a thing. Gold on Forex lines. Okay, so we may be entering a short here. We wanna wait though. We want to break this angle. This is gonna be really interesting, guys. I want to scroll out all the way and make sure that this is correct. It looks like it is now. Very interesting zone, and again, we're probably not going to find a lot of trade here, but as we move on, look at the expansiveness of this zone. And so what this means is that we should expect to see some very large swings in gold, because remember, the rule of angles is that when we break an angle, it will move to test the next one. And so that's kind of what we're taking a peek at here, is that this angle is holding as support so far, but if it breaks, it's got a support line here and supportive angle here. So we really don't have a short or a long in gold right now. Not looking to entertain a trade in here. We're gonna have to definitely keep kind of waiting and keep an eye on this. 2 minutes till we get news out. Our next trade was the dollar yen. We wanted to go long at 106.85. Obviously, that has worked out very nicely. Excuse me. Dollar yen. 106.85, if we recall, was kind of around this 45-degree angle that has been holding a support. This 45 is on the 2x1, and we've held up pretty nicely here. We've traded above. We should expect probably a little bit of triangle formation here, a little consolidation before we break out above again. When we break above this arc, that's going to be pretty bullish. That's going to be we should expect a nice rally if and when that happens. So, placing a buy order at 107.29 is a good option. Okay. And then yesterday we also had a short on the euro at a break and hold. Actually, we had two shorts at 23.87. Obviously, that has worked out very beautifully. That's 70 pips exactly. Or we had a short of a break and hold below 123.49, which we also had that scenario play out. So good trades there. Should be happy with that. News is coming out here very shortly. Ooh, I know. Let's take a look over at cryptos. Bitcoin, man. Same people I was talking to yesterday about Bitcoin. I was showing them this chart, and I was telling them about the rule of angles. And this is one of those scenarios that played out beautifully. I mean, price fell through this angle, went down to test it. It was supported, it was bought up, moved up, and we have crossed really heavily above it. We really ricocheted off of this entire zone here. We just kind of banked up and out, and that's currently where we're sitting. We're actually sitting right. I gotta move this to make sure that it's sitting there correctly. And I move that down just a tad. There we go. So we're sitting above and have found support on the hourly above the 618 fib line. So that's working out very nicely. Litecoin, very similar looking chart here. We are above and trading above very nicely. Ethereum, obviously the laggard amongst all of our peers, all of its peers. But what is really nice to see is that I don't know if this is accurate. I gotta scroll up. There we go. That Ethereum was very much. What in the world? No, it's not. That does not look right. Yeah, I thought that looked funky. And let's go to save. Okay, we got news out. What does it say? Initial jobless claims were worse than expected. Continuing jobless claims were worse than expected. All right, what were they though? Okay, initial jobless claims. Consensus was 230,000. Previous was 242. The actual was 233. So it was 3K above. Continuing jobless claims. Previous was 1.808 million. The consensus was 1.848 million, and the actual was 1.871. That was a beat, meaning it was a bad, but it's not like horrible. Import prices. Previous was 0.4%. Consensus was 0.2. Actual was 0. And then the export price index. Previous 0.2, consensus was 0.2, and the actual was 0.3. And this says that the export price index released by the U.S. Department of Labor informs of the changes in the price of U.S. export goods and services. U.S. trade represents 20% of total world trade. Thus, it is correlated with the value of the U.S. dollar and its volatility. A rise in prices is a threat over the midterm, as higher prices mean lower demands to be expected. So there you go. And our markets are reacting to this. Okay, looking back at Ethereum, we'll go back to the currencies here in just a second. But taking a peek at Ethereum, structurally it looked a little different than its peers, and we were really wanting to get above this angle. We had been testing it and facing resistance, but now if we remember looking back at Bitcoin and Litecoin, we've observed that we have found support in this on these inclining angles, and so we should actually really consider that behavior to continue. One of my nice long-term holds, like one of the actually only coins that I consider investment worthy, is Cardano. I've been in Cardano since its ICO. And it's caught a nice bid. Actually, pretty much everything has caught a nice bid. In fact, if we look at, this is my crypto watch list. So things that are against BTC are underperforming, but there are some things against BTC that are outperforming that's big deal. Like BitPay is doing amazing. Bitcoin, that's Blitz. BRX, BT, get rid of you. DCR, slight outperformance. Just a lot of movement. In fact, and I don't want to talk too much about cryptos right now, but if we go to CoinMarketCap, yesterday we were at 276 billion market cap, and now we're at 296. So we've added a good, cool 20 billion market cap to this market, and actually this morning at one point it was at 300 million. So that's a good sign for the cryptocurrency market. It's got some health re-injected into it, and certainly a sign that the mood is changing. Let's go back to our currency markets. All right, let's take a look at the dollar yen. So dollar yen not showing a lot of weakness at all after the news. In fact, we just have started to move higher. We're at 107.21, crossing above now, facing some resistance at this arc, should be expected. All right, and that's why we have a buy sitting above. Okay. New Zealand dollar, have that short at 73.72. Still planning on holding on to that one. This guy we should see some capitulation here and some pullback, because if we look at the daily chart, and we can do some counting here. Let's look at my Forex lens chart. So, oi. I got a little trend line friendly yesterday. So let's look at this on the daily. Okay, here we are on the daily. Let's hide this. And let's take out we're gonna do the date range. And so we are 21 days from this previous swing low. Now, in Gann's time counts, remember that things in the sets of 3s and 7s are important reversal or short-term trend reversal zones, or days. You know, we're talking number of trading days here. So 3 weeks times 7 days is 21 days. 21 days is a normal time in Gann's time counts to observe a change in the trend and the move of a market. So that's what we're looking for right now. We're looking for this to trend lower now, beginning today, really. Okay, are we extended on a daily? Not so much in the RSI. We are certainly pointing towards higher levels, but in the composite index, yeah, we are way extended on the composite index. We are in primo selling mode levels on the composite index. In fact, if we bring it down to the 12-hour, same thing. In fact, we're showing some weakness here on the 12. Bring it down to the 8-hour. We've experienced a little bounce, but we are really divergent here. Okay, when this 8-hour candle closes, we're gonna have some wild divergence on the 8-hour. I mean, it's pretty intense divergence. On the 4-hour, we see more divergence. And then on the 1-hour, we're more trading in structure. So, yeah, we should watch to see these markets turn, reverse, and start to move differently right now. The pound dollar, we do the same kind of count in days. We are looking at, well, I guess we got a couple ways to count it. 6 going up to 7 days. But if we go back all the way from here, 41. Okay, so we're get 42. 42 days is a reversal time count in Gann's in Gann's day counts. So, and so is the number 45. So we're getting close to these reversal points. And so where's the 45th day? The 45th day is on the 16th, which is a Monday. So 49 days. This is really an important zone. 49 days is where, and that can happen right now too. Is where we should really be looking for these markets to start to turn. In the pound and the New Zealand dollar especially. All right. Okay, let's take a peek at the Aussie dollar. What's going on here? Now, in the Aussie dollar, let's bring you down to the 4-hour. Aussie dollar is finding some support on this 45-degree angle, and that's on the 4-hour. Okay, but we're facing resistance up here, so there may be a short opportunity if we break below the low here. So we're going to say 0.773. That's our trade idea there. All right. Then peeking around at, let's see, let's take a peek at the euro pound. Whoa. Wow. But I will say this though. Look at where price stopped, right on the structure. This structure that I've generated. This is my own idea. This is my own type of chart construction. It's using tools that I mean I haven't reinvented the wheel, pun intended, but I think I've improved upon the style and geometric analysis of people that came before me. I'm not claiming to some type of genius here. I'm just saying that when I've started to implement the methodologies of Gann and some of his contemporary and some of our contemporary, big Gann analysts, I've been kind of implementing the theory and applying it in ways that are correct, but I haven't seen it done like this before. So, yeah, there's my little nerd speech. US dollar, Canadian dollar. This has fallen through a lot more than what I thought it would. I'm happy that we did not entertain any more long, tried any more longs because, I mean, again, the US dollar, Canadian dollar, Forex pour, this is really an oil trade. This is an oil thing. So when oil is expensive, if oil's going up, then the US dollar, Canadian dollar goes down. I mean, when oil goes up, the Canadian dollar, the loonie, goes up. Okay? Because Canada has lots of oil and poutine and woods and the great and amazing Jordan Peterson. Why do I keep clicking on that? Okay, let's take a look here. I'm gonna want to review what if anything's kind of moving differently right now. Okay, just peeling off a little bit on the dollar yen. Euro dollar catching a little bit of, I mean, it is really extended down here. there should be somewhat of a bounce, but never. I guess it just wants to keep pushing down. Here's the thing: on an hourly, when you're inside an arc, you're up against a fib line in our square. If you're in oversold conditions, but price continues to fall through, that's a really good sign that prices are going to continue to fall lower. That we should not really look for an imminent reversal. So sometimes we want to wait till the close of that candlestick to determine, what we're going to do. New Zealand dollar. Yeah, still looking to go short on this. Lots of rising volume as prices increase is a good sign that you are going to have a change here soon. Actually, I would probably rather see this kind of activity on a market top, but we're within that range. Oh yeah, let's look at it on the 4-hour actually. Yeah, on the 4 hour, that's looking pretty healthy. That's a lot of volume here on the 4 hour. We are inside. It's an inside bar, and we are well above the volume of the previous close, and we are above average volume right now. So this is a bearish setup. The pound dollar is experiencing. Pound dollar is just relentless. I mean, this divergence is just nuts. On the 4 hour chart, it is just crazy. We have these consistently. I mean, there's hidden bullish divergence, but there's very obvious regular bearish divergence. Hidden bullish divergence is when you have lower lows in price in your oscillator, but higher lows in price. But regular bearish divergence is when you've got higher highs in price but lower highs in the oscillator. And there are some significant bearish divergences on this chart. I mean, it's pretty silly, actually. A lot of these. I'm really focusing mostly on, and I probably should have been focusing on the euro dollar too, but the pound dollar and the New Zealand dollar. Because they are the most expansive and the strongest moving, and they're the ones experiencing the most divergence, and they're moving very contrary to the dollar index. These guys, when they do change, it's going to be swift. When they change their moves, it's going to be swift. We can kind of see evidence of that back here. Yeah, it looks like we did. The pound dollar did want to bounce a little bit, but yeah, it looks like we're going to face another test of this trend line and probably capitulate before we find support at 140, 140. So yeah, we've got really good markets that are going to move today, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun watching a really good change in the direction of everything. So yeah, it'll be exciting. Be very, very exciting. Take a real quick look again at take a look at our equity markets, S&P futures, kind of sitting. That daily kind of sitting. Oh God, this is an ugly chart. I mean, this is really an ugly chart, but it's looking pretty bullish actually. It is a pretty bullish signal. The dollar, I was going to say the dollar yen, but this is the Dow futures. If we really want to get a bullish move here, we're going to have to break above that trend line. NASDAQ, similar situation. Yeah, good moves. Good moves in these markets, especially the dollar index showing a lot of promise. You know, looking at the dollar index to get an idea of what's going to happen with these dollar pairs. And if you don't know, the dollar index is really just a whole bunch of currencies that are paired against the dollar. They call it a basket. So the majority of the dollar index is made up of the euro dollar, and then it's the dollar yen, and then it's the pound dollar, and then it's like the Swedish kronor. It's weird, some of the stuff that makes up that. So I mean, some of those currencies. I mean, I think the U.S. Canadian dollar. I don't know if the Canadian dollar is in it or not. I want to say that there's been a lot of discussion on how to measure the dollar index, because really there's a whole bunch of, I think even the South African Krugerrand is in there. But yeah, there's certainly a lot of argument on to redo the dollar index as far as, I mean, you're really just eliminating a couple of currencies and replacing it with some others. So none of the major ones though. anyways, yeah, 7:50 started a little early. I mean, I thought we were going to be talking a little bit longer today, but I don't think we will. We'll probably have more to go. We'll definitely have more to go over tomorrow because it's going to be Friday. And, you know, definitely keep an eye, guys, on these crypto markets because they are movers. There is a ton. I bet we added a couple billion while I was talking. Almost. We are in big moving territory with cryptos. So keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on all of these trades. And you guys have a great rest of your trading day, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.